Good morning and welcome, everyone.
Good morning.
Today marks our final Sunday focusing on our theme of the month, Flourishing Together. To open our time, we're going to sing our opening hymn, number 323, Break Not the Circle. This hymn beautifully reflects just how open love can be, reminding us that true love includes all living beings and then stretches even wider still. It is the perfect reminder of the circles we are trying to build and grow together. Let's rise in body and spirit to sing together, Break Not the Circle.
Break not the circle of enabling love, where people grow forgiven and forgiving. Break not the circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wander at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and guilt, but with it human bonds remain unbroken. Join then the movement of the love that is, till people of whatever race or nation will truly be themselves and on their feet see eye to eye with laughter and elation.
We're so glad you're here, just as you are, with all that you love and all that has brought you to this space. I'm Reverend Joyce, and my pronouns are she, her. Joining me this morning in worship are Barb, our worship associate, Lisa Red, our summer accompanist, and Art is on the tech deck today. As always, do join us for coffee after the service. Our Faith in Action teams are providing hospitality this morning. And we could use more help with cleanup after the service today for the coffee hour. And the sanitizer is not in use. It is leaking, so we have to be careful in the kitchen. If you're online, do like, comment, and share this worship service. If today is your first day worshiping with us, online or in person, we are thrilled that you are here. Let us know who you are so that we can be in touch.
Good morning. I'm Barb Basai. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. We are worshiping in the homeland of indigenous Ho-Chunk and Potawatomi people and are humbled to be on this sacred ground. This land, this country, this liberal faith, and our very lives are inherited from the complicated intersections of oppression, freedom, resistance, migration, war, justice-making, and hope. From these legacies, we learn, grow, seek repair, give thanks, and build a better world for those who will inherit our choices. We gather today for worship, and as we gather, we join in our sacred ritual. The flaming chalice is the symbol of our faith, a beacon of truth, a fire for justice, a warmth for the soul. One of our children, Audrey, is excited about going to a picnic with her dad at Midway Village today, and she's going to light our chalice today. Let us speak together the covenant of our church. Love is the spirit of this church, and reason is its guide. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth in freedom, and to serve human need. This is our covenant.
May love shine forth in us today. May light of reason guide our way. May beauty, truth, and joy become a flame that burns in everyone.
As we settle into our time together, we share our prayers of the people, the naming of joy and sorrow, the holding in hearts of those we love. We hold in our hearts all those recovering from illnesses and experiencing maladies of body or soul. May mercy and healing attend them. I want to share that Haley, one of our young adult group leaders, has moved across the country to Washington State. She left on the 25th, and she arrived this morning at 1:30 a.m. We wish her well in her new home. Now, I invite you in this space to name those aloud or in silence who you are holding in your heart this morning. We lift all these up with intentions of love and healing. Turn now and greet your neighbor in fellowship. Our opening words for this morning were written by Reverend Kimberly Carlson, who once served this congregation as a religious educator. It is not by chance that you arrived here today. You have been looking for something larger than yourself. Inside of you, there is a yearning, a calling, a hope for more, a desire for a place of belonging and caring. Through your struggles, someone nurtured you into being, instilling a belief in a shared purpose, a common yet precious resource that belongs to all of us when we share. And so, you began seeking a beloved community, a people that does not put fences around love, a community that holds its arms open to the possibilities of love, a heart home to nourish your soul and share your gifts. Welcome home. Welcome to worship. We're now going to share a snapshot of our year together, a brief sampling of the events, the projects, the laughter, and the quiet moments that made up our days together. As you watch these images, let's celebrate the gift of simply being together. Let's take a look. what a year, and that was just a sampling, so. All right, our story for this morning is Anansi and the Pot of Wisdom, a West African folktale. Long, long ago, the world was full of wonder, but people didn't know much. They had no books, no schools, no teachers. The sky god, Niame, held all the wisdom in the world in one big pot. Anansi the spider was very curious. I want all that wisdom for myself, he said. So Anansi went to Niame and asked for the pot. Niame said, if you promise to keep it safe, it's yours. Anansi took the pot and grinned. I'll hide it high in a tree, he thought. No one else will ever find it. He tied the pot to his belly and tried to climb the tall tree. But the pot kept bumping into his legs. He slipped and slid down again and again. His son stood below and called up, why not tie the pot to your back instead? Anansi paused. That's a smart idea. He tied the pot to his back and quickly climbed to the top. But when he sat on the branch, he frowned. If even my child can think of something I don't, maybe I don't have all the wisdom after all. Anansi grew angry. He shook the pot and shouted, what good is this if others are still wise? He tossed the pot from the tree. It hit the ground. Crash! The pot shattered into hundreds of tiny pieces. Wisdom flew out like glittering stars into the rivers, the trees, the wind, and the people. Now everyone had a little bit of wisdom, even the smallest creatures. Anansi climbed down and picked up one piece. He sighed. I guess that's fair. From that day on, no one had all the answers, but everyone had some and shared them. People learned from each other. They told stories and asked questions. And Anansi, well, he still had clever ideas, but now he listened more. He wandered the world, trading tales for wisdom, and he learned something new every day. The end. We will now sing our children and youth on to their classes with the first verse of This Little Light of Mine.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
I hope you subscribe to the Kairos, our weekly newsletter. Please be sure to read it for announcements about upcoming events and activities. Here are some things I'd like to point out. Right after service ends today, I invite you to return to the sanctuary for a brief introduction to a sound bath led by Sarah. If you've never experienced one, a sound bath is a deeply relaxing, meditative experience where you simply sit or lie down and let the sounds of a singing bowl wash over you. It's a wonderful way to quiet the mind and reset your nervous system. Today is just a short preview, but we have scheduled a full, longer session for Sunday, August 2nd at 11:30, right here in the sanctuary. Grab some coffee, come back in, and give yourself a few minutes of deep peace today. Our second announcement. Tomorrow evening, Monday, May 29th at 6 p.m., we are hosting an important discussion planned by State Line and Divisible right here in our sanctuary. We'll be hearing from Dr. Anthony Douglas, a University of Chicago surgical resident who is the co-author of the Rifle Act, Dr. Douglas will present on the cost of gun violence. This is a vital conversation about the real-world impacts in our communities and the paths forward. I highly encourage you to come out tomorrow at 6 p.m. to listen, learn, and engage. Each month, we'll be highlighting the activities of one of our Faith in Action teams. For the month of June, this is our Eco-Justice team, and I want to invite a member of the team to come forward and tell you about what they are doing. Do we have one? No, we do not. Okay. So we'll now take up an offering to support the work of justice and mercy in the world. 80% of what's collected today will go to, I don't have it. Farmers Rising, yes, there it is. So please give generously. Thank you for your generosity. The offering will now be gratefully received. Today, I'd like to take a moment to celebrate the people who actually make ministry happen in this place, and that is all of you. In a moment, I'm going to name a different area of service. When your area is called, please stand so we can recognize you, and then take your seat. After each section, I invite the whole congregation to join in reading the response printed in your order of service. And I know some of you will be jacking boxes up and down, but that's how we're doing it this year. There is no flourishing without people who show up. Not the idea of showing up, the actual, physical, ordinary, extraordinary act of showing up, week after week, year after year, because something in them said yes, when they could have said, not today. We take this time in our worship service to name out loud the many ways that you serve. Because being noticed matters, because the community does not flourish by accident. It flourishes because of people like you. For those who tend our space, who unlock the doors, arrange the chairs, set the flowers, distribute the orders of service, make the coffee, and stay to put it all away again, please stand. There's more of you than that. And together we say, we thank you, we flourish because of you. For those who care for our children, our youth, who show up on Sunday mornings with lessons prepared and hearts open, who have held the questions of young people as if they are sacred, because they are. Our teachers, our youth leaders, or anyone who has helped with the religious education program this year, please stand. We thank you. We flourish because of you. For those who serve on our board and other administrative teams, who read the reports and attend the meetings and make the 10,000 small decisions that keep this community whole, most of which no one ever sees. Will the members of our board, finance team, memorials, investment, library, committees, and teams please stand? And together we say, we thank you, we flourish because of you. For those who tend to one another, who lead our Soul Matters groups, make the phone calls, deliver the meals, sit with the grieving, drive the ones who cannot drive, and know without being asked when someone needs a hand. With the members of our caring team, our Soul Matters leaders, and all those who have served in a caring role, please stand. And we say, we thank you, we flourish because of you. For those who make music, who rehearse on weeknights so that on Sunday mornings something opens in us that words alone could not reach. For those who share their testimonies so that we can see the perspectives in a different way. So would our choir members, our worship associates, and our musicians please stand? We thank you. We flourish because of you. For those who work for justice on behalf of this congregation, who show up at the meetings, make the calls, write the letters, and carry this community's conscience into the places where it is most needed. Faith and Action team leaders and members, please stand. Those who attend meetings and don't belong to those groups, please stand. We thank you. We flourish because of you. For everyone whose area we did not call today, whose gifts was given quietly, whose labor left no record, whose contribution was no less real, for being invisible, we know who you are. We know that you have given, and we say, we thank you. We flourish because of you. A congregation is not a building. It is not a budget or a program or a mission statement. A congregation is people who have decided, despite everything telling us that going alone is easier, they decide to show up for one another anyway. You are the reason this place is alive. You are the reason people find their way here and stay. You are the reason something good keeps growing in this place. And we are so grateful. And together, because of you and you and you, we flourish. Thank you all.
I just realized I was supposed to read the announcement earlier on behalf of the Eco-Justice team, so I just found it. It wasn't on my calendar, so I forgot. So on behalf of the Eco-Justice team, I would like to inform everyone that the team will not be meeting during July or August. We will reconvene on Sunday, September 6th. I would also like to share information about one of our partner organizations, Farmers Rising. Farmers Rising builds sustainable local food and farm systems through experiential education and training programs. Please visit their website to learn more about their farmer training, mobile grocery, and various community programs. And we've already taken up the offering. So there's that. Okay, on the power of deep roots. About 3.5 years ago, I uprooted myself and my family from my lifelong hometown of Milwaukee and moved to Rockford. I didn't know very many people outside of work and BMX. I didn't know anybody outside of work and BMX, honestly. And those were acquaintances made in a very specific context, so I didn't necessarily feel strong connections there in more broad ways. But before too long, though, I was getting to know many of you. I was welcomed warmly and felt like I belonged. I started staying for coffee hour just to hang out and talk. And then, after a while, I started hearing about this place called Inscape Collective. And last year in January, I was invited to an open mic there. So I thought, oh, that would be fun. Open mic was something I used to do as a young adult before I had kids back in Milwaukee. And since music was my main creative focus, I would sing and play guitar there. I had a few originals and a bunch of covers, but I sort of mothballed all of that when Leah and I brought kids into our lives. But when I went to my first open mic at Inscape, there were several amazing musicians, a comedian, a live painter, and a bunch of poets. And it brought back memories of the few poems that I had written over the years and never had a chance to share with anyone else besides Leah. So before too long, I started writing poetry again to present at open mics. It was like a spigot was turned on. The words just kept pouring out. I had no idea how much I had to say. At first, I was just showing up and putting myself out there and going to as many open mics as I could attend at different locations. There were more besides the one at Inscape. But before too long, I was making new friends, and it began to feel like a community. I was amazed at the vulnerability that a lot of the folks showed up with, telling their stories of heartbreak and healing in creative ways. And I felt similarly about my Soul Matters group. I felt very safe there, especially with the backdrop of the UU principles and the fact that this community is held together by a belief in the intrinsic value of each human being and a commitment to being open to differences. I was so moved by all of this that I wrote this poem. I had a different title for it before, but now it's called Outpouring. Everybody here has been through some stuff. Bodies and minds crushed, souls haunted, still undaunted. Been through it, working through it, maybe still in it or in and out, and had enough soul-crushing stuff. Pinpointing the pain and putting pen to paper, seemingly ranting in vain, but really recounting the labor of lessons learned, memories of getting burned, memories of growth, one or the other, usually both. Finding fruitful flight of fancy in rhythm and rhyme, moves and grooves all dancy, colors and textures, images sublime. Turmoil turns to soil, questions roil as they boil, confounding, regrounding. Inquire, perspire, inspire. Sorrowing, sighing, bleeding, dying, healed in the heart-warmed womb. This room, this outpouring, never boring, gift that keeps on giving, brings life to living, thriving, re-aliving, doing the work where monsters lurk, where the questions never end and the answers don't pretend to be solutions, just contributions. Because in the end, this is bigger than us. It's how we clear space and get ready to trust. Minds like parachutes floating free, a beauty to behold, truth be told, and truth is told, and we are set free. And our feet land right where they need to be. So much more than just ranting, this growth, unrelenting, demands to be heard. Soul, voice, word. So that's just my way of saying that through mutual support and lifting each other up, both this church community and the creative community here in Rockford have been helping me flourish and feel rooted here after just a few years. It's my hope that these experiences will help me become a more welcoming person as well.
Thank you, Barb. So this morning we're going to sing our prayer, so we're going to remain seated as we sing Gathered Here Together. We're going to go through it 3 times. So let us pray in song, Gathered Here.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power,
Blessed be. Our first reading today, Deeply Woven Roots by Gary Gunderson. To give sanctuary is to create a zone of trust in a chaotic world. But sanctuary is not merely a hiding place. It is a staging ground. A congregation provides a safe boundary so that people can finally afford to be vulnerable, to tell the truth, and to look honestly at their wounds. True sanctuary does not insulate us from the harsh realities of the world. It gives us the ground to stand on so that we can face those realities without being destroyed by them. It is the place where we gather our strength together so that we can step back out into the world with courage. Our second reading is entitled An Invitation to Brave Space by Beth Strano. Together we will create brave space because there is no such thing as a safe space. We exist in the real world. We all carry scars. We all have caused wounds. In this space, we seek to turn down the volume of the outside world. We amplify voices that fight to be heard elsewhere. We call each other to more truth and love. We have the right to start somewhere and continue to grow. We have the responsibility to examine what we think we know. We will not be perfect. This space will not be perfect. It will not always be what we wish it to be, but it will be our brave space together, and we will work on it side by side. If you look around this room, or if you look back at the images we just shared of our life together over the past year, it's easy to see a busy, thriving community. We see smiling faces, the coffee hour buzz, committee meetings, and summer events. But beneath the surface of what we do, there's another layer to our coming together. It's the question, what is it exactly that makes us a community? Years ago in seminary, I took a class led by public health leader and theologian Gary Gunderson, based on his book, Deeply Woven Roots. I knew back then that the book was a gem, and the course left a lasting impact on me. Over the years, I've finally gotten rid of most of my seminary books and boxes of notes, but this one remains on my shelf. Why? Because Gary managed to capture the truth about congregational strengths and explain them so simply. And honestly, these strengths are true for any group where the Spirit is the foundation, whether it's a congregation like ours or a group advocating for fair housing, educational access, or neighborhood safety. These aren't structural strengths like a large endowment or a brick building, though those are important. They are relational. Gary Gunderson originally created this framework for congregations looking to partner with local nonprofits and agencies to make a real impact in their communities. He wanted to help churches understand exactly what unique assets they bring to the table when they enter those partnerships. Gary argues that a community like ours has the unique, deeply human power to do 8 distinct things. We have the power to accompany, to convene, to connect, to tell stories, to give sanctuary, to bless, to pray, and to endure. Most of the time, we practice these strengths without even realizing it. We stumble onto them like a cook who mixes unlikely ingredients and accidentally creates something incredibly tasty. But when a community becomes intentional about these strengths, everything changes. Today, we're looking closely at just a few of those roots. We're looking at what it means to convene, to intentionally gather a diverse group of people into a brave space where we can speak our truths. We're looking at what it means to give sanctuary, not as a place to hide, but as a safe staging ground to find our courage. And most importantly today, we're looking at the strength to accompany, the sacred, stubborn refusal to let anyone walk through life's ups and downs by themselves. Let's start with that word, convene. Think about how rare it is in modern life to just gather without a commercial or a transactional reason. We get together because we're buying something, working a job, watching a sporting event, or sitting in traffic. But a congregation convenes because people simply exist and because connection matters. We pull people out of their isolated silos and bring them into a shared space. But as we heard in Beth Strano's poem earlier, we aren't just trying to convene a safe place where nothing ever challenges us or makes us uncomfortable. We live in the real world. We bring our real scars, our biases, and our messy lives into this room. When we convene well, we create a brave space. It's a place where we have the right to start somewhere and continue to grow side by side. This kind of space leads right into the next strength Gary Gunderson talks about, giving sanctuary. When we hear the word sanctuary, we usually think of a quiet, beautiful room with stained glass windows, a place to escape the chaos of the outside world. And sometimes we do need a refuge. But true sanctuary isn't just a place to hide. Think about being on a long, grueling hike on a scorching summer day. You're hot, you're exhausted, and your feet are tired. And then you come across this massive ancient tree with a wide canopy of deep shade. You don't set up camp and live under that tree forever. You sit down under its branches to catch your breath. get a drink of water, cool off, get your bearings before you keep walking. So a congregation offers a sanctuary in that way. It gives us a place to stop out of the heat, to be vulnerable, to look honestly at our wounds, and to gather our strength. We don't rest here to escape reality. We rest here so we can step back out into the trail with the courage to keep going. But what happens when someone can't make it into the shade of the tree? What happens when age, illness, or isolation keeps a member of our community from physically entering this sanctuary? That is where our deepest, most stubborn strength has to kick in, the strength of accompaniment. When Gary Ganderson opens his book, he grounds us in the real, messy reality of human life. He tells stories of families facing the things that disrupt our lives: a sudden, devastating medical diagnosis for a child, or the painful, disorienting fracture of a divorce. When those crises hit, the outside world usually looks for a professional to fix it. We look for the best surgeon, the smartest lawyer, or the most credentialed therapist. And those professionals are vital. But Gary points out something important. A congregation cannot rewrite a medical chart. A minister cannot magically fix a broken relationship. We can't fix the problem, but what we can do is show up. We can sit on the living room couch, we can bring a casserole, we can offer a word of comfort, hold a hand, stay in the room when everyone else has walked away. Gary argues that this showing up is where the true life-saving health of a community happens. So most organizations are built to solve a specific problem and then close the file. But faith communities are built to feed the roots. I know for some, this showing up happens organically, but for others of us, the invitation to share may be needed to help us open up. So let's look a little deeper at how we actually convene. As we heard earlier in the story of Anansi, the spider tried to hoard all the wisdom of the world inside the single clay pot, intending to hide it at the top of a tall tree. He thought wisdom was something to be owned, controlled, and he wanted to keep it for himself. But when he struggled to climb, his own child pointed out a simpler, better way to carry it. And in his frustration, Anansi drops the pot. It shatters, and the wisdom scatters across the earth. So the lesson here is simple. No single person holds all the wisdom. It lives in bits and pieces inside every single one of us. I was thinking about this past week during my drive into Chicago when Tim and I visited the newly opened Obama Presidential Center. Thanks to my sister. She handed me the phone and said, "Order your tickets." I got them on the phone. So that's how I got it. As you walk through that campus, you can't help but feel the weight of their story. A story built entirely on the power of we, on a community-focused leadership. We know that before Barack Obama was president, he was a community organizer on the south side of Chicago. Before Michelle Obama was the first lady, she was working in community affairs. Their life of service started with a simple, radical act: sitting in church basements, living rooms, and neighborhood blocks, bringing people together to talk about their shared lives. They understood that the most powerful thing you can do for a neighborhood is to convene it. A civic group or a city committee might hold a strict business meeting with a strict agenda and a clock. But when a community like ours convenes in the spirit of togetherness, we work to build a table where people can be heard and cared for. We can invite the advocate, the skeptic, the person who is hurting, and the person who wants to help. By simply holding the room and creating brave space, just like those early organizing meetings on the South Side, we allow collective wisdom to emerge that none of us has on our own. We realize that we're the ones that we've been waiting for. As we look at how we give sanctuary, remember our hiker resting under the shade of that massive tree? What does that look like in real life? It looks like a parent who has been up all night dealing with an overwhelmed teenager, or an adult child managing the heaviness of a parent's illness. They walk through our church doors on Sunday morning, exhausted from all that they've carried during the week. They don't come here because we have a magic wand to fix their family issues. They come here to sit among us, to let the music wash over them, and to finally drop the mask. Sanctuary means you are allowed to be tired here. It's a place where you gather your strength so you can face the challenges again tomorrow. And finally, look at how we can accompany. This is the strength that moves out from under the tree and walks alongside you. Accompaniment is the friend who drives you to your oncology appointment so you don't have to sit in the waiting room alone. It's the neighbor who notices that your car hasn't moved in 3 days and walks over to knock on the door just to check in. It's that stubborn refusal to let anyone become invisible. Gary Gunderson defines accompaniment beautifully. He says it's the capacity to walk with people through the full arc of their lives, not as professionals providing a service, but as companions on a journey. It means refusing to let another person walk through life's challenges or joys by themselves. In a world that often treats individuals as isolated units, a community practicing accompaniment says, "We see you, we are with you, and we are not going to let you disappear." And that brings us to our work ahead. Right now, our caring team is in the planning and thinking phases of a new ministry centered on this exact strength of accompaniment. We are looking to recruit volunteers to make phone calls and visits to people in our congregation. Now, on the surface, it's a throwback to the old phone tree, and it might sound like a simple administrative task, but when you look at it through the lens of Gary Gunderson's work, it is actually an act of intentional accompaniment. We are designing a system to equip volunteers to make regular, unhurried phone calls or in-person visits to our members and friends, especially those who are at home or isolated. These visits will be simple. They are just a chat, an investment in a relationship. We hope it will be a space to talk about the weather, share a memory, or talk about how the garden is growing. We will follow the lead of the travelers, the people that we accompany. The magic of regular conversation is that when we talk consistently, we weave an invisible safety net. We notice subtle changes. We watch for the minor challenges before they become a crisis. By picking up the phone, we are physically extending the sanctuary walls of this church right into someone's home. If they can't get to the shade of our tree, we are bringing the shade to them. Because we are still building this ministry from the ground up, we need two things to make it work. First, we need the companions, the volunteers who are willing to reach out, who have the gifts of listening, of warmth, and of simply showing up for people. We will provide the training or the equipping, and we will support you. But just as importantly, we need people who are willing to let us accompany them, because we get everybody ready and then nobody calls. Folks who are currently navigating a tough stretch of the road or a quiet stretch, who are brave enough to open the door and say, "Yes, walk with me a bit." We need the companion and the traveler to make the circle whole. A thriving community isn't one where we sit back and wait for a connection to magically happen to us. It's a space where we are actively supported to flourish together, always remembering that we are not alone. To make our upcoming companion and traveler tree work, we need to remember the lessons of the shattered pot. We don't need to be experts to make these phone calls and visits. We just need companions willing to reach out and travelers willing to let someone walk with them. When a companion and a traveler talk on the phone or visit, they are sharing their unique pieces of wisdom and creating ties that will help us support one another in times of need. So if you're interested in either of these roles, please let me know. There'll be a sign-up sheet in the narthex. So we're ending our service today by singing Joyce Poley's beautiful hymn, "When Our Heart is in a Holy Place." Now, I know over the years I've heard some grumbling about this song. Some folks feel like its lines are sort of a conditional grace, as if we are only blessed if we manage to get everything right. but I don't see it that way at all. We are already blessed with inherent worth, love, and amazing grace. What Joyce Poley's poetry understands, and what Anansi learned the hard way, is that wisdom and grace must be shared to be fully realized. The hymn reminds us that the holy place isn't a physical building. It's a reality we build when we choose to show up for one another, when we trust each other's wisdom, when we tell our stories from deep inside, when we listen with a loving mind. That is when we piece the pot back together and heal our hearts. It's an invitation to lean into our hidden strengths so that every companion and every traveler can thrive. So please rise in body and spirit as we sing together, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell a story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share a silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place.
Have courage, hold fast to what is good, return no one evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the suffering, honor all beings, knowing that our roots are deep and we do not walk this path alone. Go in peace. And now, while Barb extinguishes the chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment which we carry with us until we are together again, I invite you to join hands for our closing blessing. If touch is uncomfortable for you, please keep your hands where they are, trusting that others will respect your choice. Now let us sing our closing blessing.